Welcome to Holding Space. Michael Zen is a visual producer and creative photographer using his imaginative visionary energy to channel Zen and hold space for spiritual and innovative discussion. Each episode creates a supportive, accepting, and open environment that allows exploration and expertise to come together with engaging and entertaining convergence. With guest and community all helping the shape of the way, Michael is grateful to be together to hold space. Now here is your host of Holding Space, Michael Zen.
Yes, hello, here I am again. It is another Tuesday. I'm holding space, my favorite place to be. I love to hold space. I feel it in my hands here when I hold my hands out, and I intend to hold space. So welcome to Holding Space with Michael Zinn. We are here on the Sacred Spiral Network. I want to give a shout out to Kelly Brickle, who runs the network and has put together an amazing collection of psychics and paranormal explorers, some really cool, interesting shows to check out on the Sacred Spiral Network. So thank you, Kelly, for holding space It's appreciated. And thank you guys for coming every week. I love to see you guys. Hello, Tanya. Hello, CJ. Good to see you out there. If you are watching the show live, just do me a favor, type in the comments #live. Right? What this does is it tickles the algorithm, tells the platforms out there that there's something happening that people are checking out, and maybe other people want to check it out too. And it helps us build this amazing community that's been building up I've been doing Holding Space since January, and the live stream of consciousness I've been doing for about 3 years. And it's really finally this breathing, organic entity through the connection that I've made with you guys. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you, Tammy, for being live. Thank you, Jenny, for being live, and Brian for being live. It feels good, right, to be alive? I love it. I love it. Fill up the room with the energy. Excited tonight because I have a guest who's a friend of mine who is just such an amazing, bright soul. You meet people in life, right? There's the categories. I try not to be judgmental, but people fall into categories, right? There's this general category of people that you don't know. They're just people. And then when you have an experience with someone that might be good, you meet them and they're friendly and they're warm. You're like, oh, I like that person. And they're good people, good person. And then maybe you spend some time with somebody and you share a nice experience, and you love the way that the interaction went. And then they became a favorite person. Right? You have the favorite person. So this is one of my favorite people. I'm excited to share some space, hold some space for my guest tonight, the wonderful, the amazing Asia Lee. Welcome to Holding Space. How you doing, Asia?
Wow, what an amazing intro. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And to you and the audience, thank you for holding space. And hopefully I will be able to hold the space for you too.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt. I know who you are. That's why I brought you here, to share with my audience, to connect with the world. I totally forgot because I'm so excited, and I hear it actually reminding me. It's so amazing. So I have this amazing bowl that I got recently that I'm really connected with. As a matter of fact, like I said, it's sitting to the left of me, and as I'm talking, I can hear it like responding to my voice. It's so amazing. We're so connected, and I use it as a bit of a sonic sage. So if you'll allow me to kind of clear the space, and you can do this with me, take a deep breath in through your nose. You know how to get where we are, and we're going to talk all about that. But everybody, if you want to just take a deep breath in through your nose, listen to the bowl. I'm hoping you can hear it. I hear it. It rings out for so long, and you can feel the vibration. I just love it so much. Let me put it on the side so it doesn't ring out as I talk. And then let me just set my microphone here back. Oh, I had the echo cancellation on. Maybe you didn't hear it. Yipes. Anyway, I did what I intended to. I cleared the space. So I see Tanya is welcoming Asia, and I see the quiet healer out there. What's up, love? So I was telling people that you're just an amazing soul. And I think if there's this thing about people, I was trying to set the stage, right? Because I think everybody can relate to people and having this kind of rating system in your head as you get to know someone. Ooh, I really like that person. Ooh, that's a favorite person, right? And you're definitely one of my favorite people to be around, because it's just so heartwarming and calming, and we always have amazing conversations. But I remember when we met, feeling this amazing energy and really getting to know you. You were like very warm person and easy to talk to. And then later on, you told me a story about where you came from, and it was dark and amazing to hear what you've been through and who you've become. So that's why I invited you here to hold space for you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that story and how you got to be the amazing Asia Lee?
Well, I believe everyone is amazing. It's just returning to our amazingness. So my story begins on a little island called Jeju. It's a little island south of Korea. It's just so beautiful. It's a volcanic island. And I grew up with the sea and watching the women go sea diving and collecting urchins,
Nice.
running barefoot. And with my mother and grandmother, they really stood out in that love. And there was a high demand for cute kids like me. So I was abducted and sold into a cult. So my early foundation was really losing the safety, security, love, the things that we need. And people say if you don't have that, and this is around the age of 5, they say if you don't have that during your early development, your brain can be damaged forever. And I've had a lot of trauma therapists ask, how'd you turn out the way you did? And it's because a couple of reasons. One, I worked really hard. I left the cult when I was 16. And the way I left it was I was trying to leave this world. And by trying to leave this world, I went through this tunnel of light and I got sent back. I was told I had a purpose. And my dog was so kind in waking up the household that I was rushed to the hospital. And then when I came back, it wasn't like, ooh, I know like my purpose and stuff. For me personally, the near death was a long journey. And then I've had so many amazing interventions from the divine, like just there's definitely something bigger than us. And this is the way I look at it. If we are alive today, we had something divine taking care of us. Because, when we're an infant, we can't lift our heads. We needed someone to feed us. We needed someone to take care of us. And if we didn't get the love we wanted as a child, we can do that now for ourselves. And that's what I've done. But it sounds so easy, but it's not as easy as that. Because from the time I was 16 to my mid-20s, I was still so depressed. I wanted to leave this world. Any little hiccup, I would spiral down. And this one time, I was laying in bed and I was determined to be successful this time. That's how my mindset was back then. And I was paralyzed. Divine intervened again. I was paralyzed and I could not move. And I astral projected, which is easy for me, which is I leave my body and I floated and I was saying goodbye to the people I loved. And I had 2 little kids and they were at a birthday party. That's why I planned it perfect. No one was going to be home. They'll be awake. Like,
Mm.
but they couldn't hear me. They couldn't even sense me. And I couldn't move anything. And it was so frustrating. And then I had this download. I was shown the different levels of death. So the first level is like astral projecting, or you're in a coma, or the people that flatline. We're still energetically connected.
Mhm.
So since we're still connected, you can come back to the body.
Mhm.
The second is that energy is cut off. And this is where you can't come back. This is when you're really dead. So
Mhm. Mhm.
there's a
Mhm.
big difference between mostly dead and
Mhm.
all dead. And
Mhm.
all dead, you can look and you want to get back in, but you can't get back in. And
Oh, wow.
then there's a third level. So there's probably more and stuff, but these are the levels that I was shown.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then I was given this wisdom that I can make different choices.
Mhm.
And then when I came back into my body, I felt like Wonder Woman,
Mm.
because having been like out of my body and trying to communicate, my voice didn't work, my hands didn't work. And
Mhm.
having this human vessel, this form,
Mhm.
was so amazing. And
Mm.
to know that I don't have to be stuck in that direction.
Mm. Interesting.
It was so powerful to
Mm.
know. So a thing I do in the morning as a reminder is I hold my breath. As soon as I wake up, I say a mantra and I hold my breath. And the reason I hold my breath is to remind myself that I have the power and the control to make choices. I choose to hold my breath. I choose to let my body know that I am in charge.
Mm.
Because as we get older, the body just automatically takes over. 90% of what we do is on a subconscious level.
Mhm.
So if you
Mhm.
see yourself in a pattern, I have this called the Mind Flow method. It's the AAA, AAA.
Mhm.
So the first is awareness. You have to be aware of the pattern. Instead of making excuses, whatever you want or don't want, or you want to manifest and it's not coming to you, or you get triggered, or something bothers you, the first step is awareness. Then the second step is the alignment. So it's acknowledging it. Um, one of the one of my favorite methods that I've been using often is the emotional freedom technique, which is called EFT, or tapping.
Yep.
Start off with the karate chop.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you acknowledge that uncomfortable, unwanted, or that anger, even though I'm afraid. I love and accept myself totally and
Mhm.
unconditionally,
Mhm.
even though I'm frustrated. Like, you acknowledge the uncomfortable emotions and return to love,
Right.
because the core essence of everything is love. And the way I really knew love and felt love and came to love was another transcendental experience, which was I was meditating, laying in bed, and
Mhm.
I was astral projecting out of my bed. I was floating.
Mhm.
And this voice said, relax. And it startled me. And when I usually get startled, I'm back in my body, and I wasn't back in my body. And I'm like thinking, if I can't get back in, I'm just as good as dead. I could be
Uh-oh.
like a coma. And it was kind of scary. And I'm saying this to the voice, and all the voice said was relax. And what I did was I did a burst of light, and then bam, I was back in my body.
Okay.
Had I surrendered to that voice, I might have gotten a lot more info, but I was just too scared.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I still got the info, Mike, which was my depression was coming from guilt. It makes no conscious sense. This is what I'm saying, like on the conscious way. Like, I was a kid, all the loss, the abuse, the trauma, like everything that happened,
Mhm.
I was the victim,
But you
but
felt guilty.
I felt guilty.
Wow.
And no matter how much therapy I went to, I would never be able to come to that. But during this moment, it was like every cell in my body was exploding with love. It was like euphoric, tears pouring
Mhm.
down, and that the only truth is love. fear, anger, guilt, all these other emotions are not the truth.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're our ego, our human experiences
Yeah.
trying to protect us.
Mhm. Mhm.
So from that moment, my guiding light is love. And what's really amazing and fascinating to me is that I can see myself in everyone. Like
I love that.
I have let go of judgment, and it's just so much love and compassion because wherever people are, I know I could have been there and I probably was there. So I
Mhm.
think that's what you feel is this
Mhm.
unconditional love that I feel for anyone that's comes. Like it could be animals, it could be really anything. Is just this. It's not like the kind of love that people think of love. It's just a wholesome
Yeah.
euphoria.
I love it. I relate 1,000,000%, Asia, and I think that's definitely why we vibe together, right? Why we feel the way we do about each other. Because I've actually been experiencing lately, in the spiritual community, some vibrations that are not that, right? And it's okay, and like it's okay. And I'm trying to explain, to the people around me, like, yeah, I get you feel this way, but why even putting energy to feeling that way, right? You know what I mean? Like you can choose the things that you want to put your energy towards. If you don't feel good about something, walk away. Don't put your energy towards it. You know what I mean? Or put love towards it, whatever it is. And I agree. I'm just happy to hear you say that because I resonate so much with that, and it seems simple, but like you said, we're human, and I think that growing up in society, we're kind of taught and shown things and conditioned to believe certain things that I think, like you said, the idea is to return to love, to return to this unconditional place, no matter what you have to go through. And you're a great example of that. I mean, I cannot even begin to imagine this much of your story. You know what I mean? Experiencing it. It's just incredible.
Well, I don't want to compare traumas with anyone.
Of
We
course.
all have traumas. This human form is not made for happiness, it's made for survival. So if you can separate yourself from the human form, so for me personally, I remember like why I wanted to come.
Mhm.
I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to remember. I don't care how difficult life is going to be, I'm going to remember. And one, I didn't remember. And two, even when I remembered, it didn't help
Mhm.
because this human physical form, the vessel is like having a computer with certain programming. It only
Mhm.
works a certain way. This
Mhm.
human form only works a certain way. So why we have to train it just like we train a dog, we have to train our mind. And that's why I created GetMindFlow,
Mhm.
because we can train our minds when we're feeling it. You know how like when a dog has an accident and you come
Mhm.
home hours later and you go to punish the dog. The dog has absolutely no idea what you're punishing the dog for.
Right.
That's kind of like us going to therapy. We have the trigger now and then we go a week later. It doesn't translate very well. But imagine having a tool that can reset your nervous system in as little as 90 seconds
Mhm.
so that you keep rewiring your neural pathways. And I'm not sure everybody understands what fractals are, but fractals are, you see them all in nature. And it's like the leaves, and the edge of the leaves is the same as the leaf. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Mhm.
Or a visual would be a mirror, and you see within a mirror, within a mirror, within a mirror, and it continues smaller and smaller. So
Mhm.
think of our brain, that neural network, as a microcosm, the tiny fractal
Mhm.
of our outer world, which is the macro. So how we think, how we believe literally creates the reality.
Mm-hmm.
So now understanding that, and then you saying like, why would someone want to be negative or whatever? Because when you're being negative, you're bringing your vibration down, so you are attracting more of that into your reality.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an incident for me personally. I was all set to launch my book on the 19th,
Yeah.
but somehow the 9 was missing and it got launched May 1st. And I didn't even know it got launched. I just found out today. And I'm like, I prepared all this launch. It's going to come. I'm going to have the reviews and everything. And now here it's been launched for a few days. There's no reviews. No one knows about it. And I was like, all right, this is a gift. I just don't know what the gift is yet.
Yeah.
So I just surrendered to, okay, I don't know what the gift is yet, but it is a gift.
I love that. I love that. I got to tell you, you're saying so many important things, and I'm just hearing it and I'm processing it in relation to my own life over the past couple of days and experiences that I've had. I had a conversation this morning with a friend of mine who's raising a teenager, having lots of problems, and starting to realize exactly what you said about your energy and your anger and the way you respond to things and ego. You mentioned so many things that are so important about the way that we function on a day-to-day basis, and that most people kind of don't realize, right? They're in this auto default mode of functioning, and the movement of being aware, the movement of GetMindFlow, of doing these exercises. I want to talk about that. Breathing exercise to bring you into the moment, to bring you into yourself, rather than to be caught up in the external world, right? You even again, I wanted to mention it when you talked about EFT. I find EFT really fascinating because literally the moment I do that, like the instant I do that, I'm there. I feel the connection with myself. I feel the connection with the moment. It's like intentionally being present. And it's so important. It's so important. And then with intentionally being present comes the responsibility now of responding to the situation, and you nailed it on the head with the dog, right? The dog who had the accident 2 hours ago. When you walk in and you scream, even if you, as a human, you put the dog's face in it and you're like, oh, he'll get it because I'm doing this. Yeah, they have no idea where your emotions are at. It's completely unrelated. It's completely detached. So that's just not the right way to respond. I'm sure that's not usually very successful. um, and Jennifer Rosa says, Asia, you are so lovely. I love your beautiful self, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted people to respond to your amazing energy and philosophies. Love EFT. I use it every single day.
Well, I created the app, so where it has the EFT, and if you already know the EFT, you can and you know your trigger, you can ask for a deeper EFT.
Awesome.
So you ask, can you do a deeper one? And I'm still clearing. I mean, just last week, I did a deep EFT where I was sobbing that I thought I was over. It's like I thought I'm good, but then there's that little trigger, and when I did the EFT, I wasn't really triggered. I know, like, I know when I'm releasing it from my cells, when I'm sobbing, when I'm like,
Right.
I know that it's
Totally.
really releasing from my at a cellular, because
Absolutely.
we are like an iceberg. The conscious mind is that 10% that we see above the water, our dreams, our hope, our goals, what we say we're going to do. But 90% are the fears and every doubt that just runs the show that we're not even aware of.
Yeah,
And the
totally.
biggest thing is the certainty, that the things that we don't even question. So the way I found a way to question it is catch yourself getting triggered. I catch myself getting triggered. I catch myself judging. I catch myself comparing. Like I found myself comparing to Gary Vee. I don't know if anyone knows who Gary Vaynerchuk is, but
Sure. Yeah.
he's an entrepreneur, YouTuber. He's absolutely phenomenal. And I found myself thinking like, oh yeah, you had it easy. You had a loving mom and family and support.
Mm.
And then I'm like, oh, I'm
Did I
making
say that?
excuses. I'm
Yeah.
here right now. I'm here right now. And right now and into the future, I have the same opportunities. He worked really hard from the time he was 14, and here I am thinking that my past is defining my future. And
Mhm.
that's where I had to keep letting go. Like,
Right.
I am the creator of my future.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. I want to talk about my spirit guide taught me life isn't about you, it's about everybody around you. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Life is we're all in this together. I say that all the time. Like whether you like it or not, we're all in this together. And you might as well like it, because if you don't like it, you're still going to be all in it together, and you're just not going to be happy.
I
Um,
totally agree with her
yeah,
spirit guide.
yeah.
And it's really amazing because I've been feeling this connection. It goes in waves. Sometimes I feel the connection so deeply,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
it's like almost blissful. And
mhm,
sometimes I can feel like little parts of me in different people, not just like the good, but also
mhm,
it
mhm, mhm.
doesn't matter who they are,
Yep.
or even people that are very, very negative and victimhood. I
Mhm,
can see myself in
mhm,
them.
mhm,
And
mhm, mhm.
my girlfriend will say, like, but you're nothing like them. And it has nothing to do with me being like them. It's just
Right.
that energetically, it's like almost like I can jump into their body and I know them and I can feel them.
Yep. Asia, it's amazing to hear you talk, because I feel like I'm saying those things. Like I feel the same way. It's about essence, right? It's the essence of the human. I love the idea of seeing the reflection of yourself all around you, because that's where the non-judgment comes from. Because if you're judging somebody else, you're judging yourself. And we know how powerful that is, and how powerful thoughts are. I'm just curious. You talked about like these moments.
Before you move on,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to share that judgment with you.
Okay.
So um, the people close to us trigger, right? Nobody triggers me except my husband. He
Hmm.
doesn't, I mean, like, he doesn't try to,
Right. Of
it's
course.
occasional. I meditate every morning, and he is very different and he doesn't really understand. And he said to me, he was like, why do you always meditate? And it triggered me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And in fact, it kind of hurt because I expect
Hmm.
him to accept me totally and unconditionally, and he should just know me and just love me. But instead of saying anything, I went within myself and I asked a question. One was, why do I need him to accept me?
Hmm.
And when have I not accepted myself? And is there like, and then when I was looking back, it was like, wow, when I was younger, I really didn't accept myself. I mean, I was made fun of because I was Asian, I was bullied and stuff, and I didn't want to be me. There was many things I didn't want to be.
Hmm.
So I was judging myself, and that was still within me. So how could I expect the people around me and the people I love to accept me totally and unconditionally when I did not totally and unconditionally accept myself? And then I had to release that. And
Yeah.
once that happened, the craziest thing happened. He never mentioned it again.
There you
It's
go.
cool because when we change our inner fractal, the outer fractals change.
Absolutely. It's so wise, so wise. The words that you're saying, and the way you process experiences, right? And that's what I find I'm loving as I get older, is as I process experiences. That was going to be the question I asked you. You said you found yourself in a moment where you thought there was something that you were over, but something about it hit you in the head in the right way, and all of a sudden you're bawling. And I gotta say, like, I relate to that moment, but I almost really enjoy those moments. Do you enjoy those moments?
Oh, yeah. I love those moments because for me personally, those moments are moments of growth. Those moments are releasing at a cellular level what's
So
been holding
energetic.
me
Yeah.
from my growth.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I absolutely love those moments.
It's so energetic. I love it too. And I always talk about too, like, people talk about manifesting, right? Like an abstract idea, like you can take a thought and make your thought into reality, right? Like physically. And to
Mhm.
me, that's what that moment represents, because whatever is going on in your head that's making you cry, you're feeling it in your throat, you're choking up, your water's coming out of your eyes. Physically, you're manifesting a moment. And that to me is like so powerful, and like evidence that we're connected to our soul, that we have that power.
Yes. Well, I'm going to send you a special gift,
Oh,
which is a fast track to manifestation.
okay.
Um, it's I will give it to you. It's a PDF that you can share with your listeners.
Awesome.
I don't know how you want to send it out, but they
I
could
could do
just
that.
ask
I
for
could
it.
do that. Yeah, yeah, I
It's
could
a
do that.
special gift that I give out when I'm on a podcast.
That's awesome. Well, that's actually a good segue, because I want to talk about something amazing that you're doing now, right? This is all the past and all of what made you you, which is super important. I think everybody has a story, and it's great. And like you said, just because your story might seem like so spectacular, not spectacular, it's not the right word, but like a big story, it's not about that. It's about the love and coming through whatever the story is to where you're at. You know what I mean?
You know what? Sometimes I think it's more difficult when you can't pinpoint your pain or what
Mm-hmm.
trauma,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't acknowledge it. It's
Mm-hmm.
difficult. You feel something and you don't know where it's at. Like when I was feeling that guilt, I couldn't put a word to it. I was
Right.
just depressed, and I couldn't pinpoint. Like, because consciously I know, like, not to feel bad for what happened, but on a deeper cellular level, it was just there. So I think
Mhm.
almost all of us have that, and I think it's worse for people who can't say, "Oh, this big thing happened,"
Right.
and also the lots of micro traumas are really challenging too, because you
Mhm.
think we justify it like, "Oh, that's no big deal. That's no big deal," but
Right.
they add up, or it could be a big deal within our system.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
sure.
always acknowledging whatever we feel and to give that love and compassion to ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, I want to transition into kind of what you're doing now, because not only like I feel like for the spiritual community, right, there are some simple exercises and techniques that we use to ground us. If a moment's getting tense, right, we do some breathing exercises, or something like that. And there are bag of tricks in the spiritual community. And you created this app that's kind of using AI, and it's full of those tricks, and it's very, very personal. It's called GetMindFlow.ai. I want to share it up here on the screen. Here we go. um, so it's called GetMindFlow.ai. And tell us a little bit about how you came up with this app. And then I want you to also tell us about how you got involved with the schools, because I think that's an amazing, and the next level up of the app and what it does to introduce it to the younger generation as a way of dealing with moments of stress or adversity.
Well, I've had decades of studying neuroscience, quantum physics, metaphysics, human potential, certified in like every sort of modality you can think of, Reiki, Psyche, because I wanted to know, why do we keep repeating the same patterns? Why do we feel the way we do constantly? And
Mhm.
I wanted to aggregate the fastest way that we can transform. Transformation doesn't have to take weeks or months. it can happen instantaneously, which we know. We've seen miracles and spontaneous healing, and we've seen the placebo. Like just knowing, just taking a pill and your stage 4 cancer is gone, right? How can we tap into those kind of things? So I took ancient wisdom, the science that is, so this is based on science, neuroscience, NLP, EFT, and you just say how you feel, and it will give you either a breath work, a body shake, whatever it is personalized for you. So it's not like one of those, meditation apps or other apps where it's all pre-programmed.
Right.
It's so individualized for you personally. And yeah, and there's a 7-day neutral challenge, because sometimes people don't know what to ask or what to say or how to do it, but it's really simple. You just go, you get a trigger, you just say, I'm feeling this, or you have a blockage. You could ask, what belief may be holding me back from this? Or can you ask me what money beliefs that is blocking me?
Right.
Or what is blocking me? You could ask what is blocking you. You can really ask anything. It's like talking to your higher self,
Right.
and it has kind of like it has my book in it. I fed my book, and it has lots of science-based tools. So instead of me trying to think of, oh, what would work best for you, it will aggregate what is the best. And not only that, you get to choose, because sometimes you may not just want to do an EFT. You may want to do like a talk and transform like an NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming.
Right.
Another way of it's another way of thinking, but
Right.
it validates whatever you're feeling.
Right. Well, I think the experience that I had with it was awesome, because I feel like, people have gone into ChatGPT and people have seen, oh, ask ChatGPT about what's blocking me and things like that, right? Some of the stuff that you started to mention, but I think the app is what I liked about the app is, like, I feel like the app is actually, you don't have to prompt the app. The app is kind of prompting you, right? So you go into the app and the app is like, hey, what's going on? What happened, right? And then the idea is like, oh man, Johnny just called me a jerk. And then it will tell you, it'll help you work through those feelings, right? Instead of like,
And it
it's
will
like,
ask you. It will ask, do you want to talk about it? Do you
right,
want to EFT? What would you like?
right,
But it validates. But it will first do a breath. So there's all different kinds of breath, and depending on what kind of state you're in, it will give you a breath work that is for that particular situation.
right, right. That's awesome. I love that. And I mean, I'm kind of assuming that this audience is familiar with some of these basic concepts, right? Of, whoa, hello, of the basic concepts of breath work. I mean, listen, I think everybody growing up is told, oh, just count to 10. Oh, take a deep breath, but not really guided through it, right? So that it works. It's just like an abstract concept. But then once you're guided through it and you understand how it works, I think that's kind of where probably most of this audience is at. We know that, quick breaths are going to give you a different effect than a nice, slow, calming breaths. And there's different reasons to do the different techniques, and I think that's what's great about the AI too, is it will kind of pinpoint exactly what's going to work for you. Like you said, EFT, is it a breath work, is it just kind of talking it through, you know what I mean, which I think the chat is really great at. I think it's great.
Yeah, so I got an amazing compliment because I have a female executive who called me while I was driving, and she was like, she uses Chat GPT for everything and is her best favorite therapist. And she said she used my app and it gave her hope, because chat is limited to a certain,
Sure.
it shouldn't be, but
Right.
this is geared to really for our, well, the back end for me personally, it's supposed to talk to you and treat you like your higher self.
I love it. No, and
That is a secret I'm just sharing with you.
yeah, no, but that's what I love about AI, and the idea that you can train an AI to kind of be a very specific mentor, or a very specific specialty of wellness, of health, of just that. I mean, sure, ChatGPT has that same database that it can pull from, but it's not specialized in how to pull that data, how to interact with you. You know what I mean? And I think those are important things. And I love that AI is allowing us to even explore that now. My relationship with my chat GPT is awesome. And I do want to talk about that too, because it's starting to know me and what I want to do and how I want to use it. And it's like it's a mirror. I find ChatGPT to be a bit of a mirror. Um,
Yes.
and so I want to get back to this, because this is your book that you were talking about that was released without your knowledge 10 days, or no, the 19th it was supposed to be, and it was on the first
Yes,
18 days.
it says it was the 19th.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a couple things I want to say about that. Let me slow down a minute. One is the whole idea of going with the flow. I love the way you told the story and that how it happened. And you weren't even like, oh man, this sucks. You were like, okay, now what? Now, like, here's the situation. I've got to deal with it. And let's make the best out of it. And that is just like, that's the secret right there. That's the secret sauce to life and getting through life. But I loved when we reconnected and I asked you to be on the show. You're like, oh yeah, I just wrote this book, Infinite You, and I'm working on a book that I am collaborating with ChatGPT on, back and forth. Also very similar topic wise, totally different style wise, but a similar topic about just how we need to get back to understand that we are the keys to everything we need. We can open every door we need to open by being the key to the door. So tell me a little bit about your book and how it came about and where we can get it and all of that great stuff.
Well, I've been working on it for years. I did, the hypnosis to past life. I read Journey of Souls and I was interested in past life and stuff. And while I was under hypnosis, I was told to write a book. And I knew that. I've gotten that message over and over from different people and stuff like that. But in this hypnosis, and so I promised, and I didn't do it for years. And then I was thinking it should have been my memoir, because that's what people asked for and people wanted to know my story and stuff. But I didn't feel like it's a nice story and it might make a good movie, but it didn't really give people the tools that would be useful. And
Right.
I wanted to give a gift. So the book is really like story and teach and tools, and it takes you from the beginning of like where you are to where you want to go. I'll share one story, which kind of encapsulates everything. So we had a puppy. My son got a puppy, but in the city he couldn't keep it in his apartment. So he said, "Mom, can you watch it for a little bit?" So 18 years later, she passed away.
Wow.
18 years we had her. Oh, wait, 16. I thought she was going to be 18, but she was 16.
Okay.
And then, which is a long time for a golden retriever. And people were amazed that she lived that long.
Yeah, that's old. That's a lot.
But my grandson, who was 4 at the time, just couldn't get over it. Anytime spoke to him, why did Riley die? Why did Riley die? Like FaceTime, why did Riley die? Anytime, like just so we're on a family vacation and I'm tucking him in and his 7-year-old brother. And right on cue, why did Riley die? And I was just like, everything dies. I just didn't. And then the 7-year-old was like, will you die? And I'm like, yes, someday I'll die. And then he asks, will the sun die? And I'm like, yes, eventually, not for a billion years after your kids. And then he goes, will I die?
Mm,
And then I'm like, yeah, but you'll have a long life. And then he asks, will God die? And I was like,
mm,
no, God's the only thing that doesn't die. And the God in you will not die.
mm,
And then the light bulb, that means I'm God.
mm.
And the essence of God is in all of us. So it's really returning to the essence of who we are. You can call it God, source, spirit.
Mhm.
I don't usually use the word God because that image is usually like a separate, not,
Mhm.
a lot of people,
Personified. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it's it's this oneness, this universal consciousness. While you're writing the book, other people will write the book, other people will come out with similar apps,
Mhm.
because it's in the field. It's not
Mhm.
just in me. I felt it, I heard it,
Mhm.
I acted upon it, but
Mhm.
we are all hearing it. We're all hearing to amplify our voices.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Oh man, I feel like this is like we should go on tour around the country and just be like, come on, just this is so simple, you know what I mean? To me, this is like all the basic stuff, but it's
Simplicity
amazing.
is hard though.
You know what it is, and I think not even like with the idea of, ooh, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on a crusade. Like I just started doing my book because I feel these things, and I feel like some people don't get it, and how can we do it? And the same thing with you, like your this book is just an amazing reflection of you with that message, and just wanting everybody to know you're beautiful, you're amazing, you are everything. And I'm with you, man. I'm totally with you on that mission to get people to understand, that anything that is holding them back is coming from inside, right? And anything that's going to propel you forward is going to come from within inside, and not to look elsewhere for it.
Yeah, so the book is a support, the app is a support, here for a support, because, you know, we need a mentor. Some of us, um, it's kind of like Roger Bannister's 4-Minute Mile.
Hmm.
Some of you may not know, but back in 1954,
Amazing.
experts said it was humanly impossible to run the mile in less than 4 minutes. And doctors said you would collapse. And some even thought you would die. But Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. And soon as he did, 2 weeks later, someone else did, then 3 more. And today, even high school students can break the 4-minute mile.
Hmm.
What's changed? Our bodies didn't change.
Right.
Belief. So once it was proven that it's possible, the whole world saw it differently. So your takeaway, what is your 4-minute mile? What do you believe that's impossible for you or the world?
Hmm.
Because it's not. And
That's
if
right.
you need support, get MindFlow, create a community, meditate, find a way how it's possible for you, because it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of that, possibilities for you and MindFlow, right? You told me that you've been asked to integrate MindFlow or to introduce MindFlow to high school students.
Yeah, so MindFlow has a sister, which is the MindFlow Foundation. So
Mhm.
for every app purchase, there's one donated, and also to bring it into underserved communities.
Mhm.
Also, my intention is really impact the young minds,
Mhm.
because their brains are so much more neuroplastic when you're younger. It's still like it can change anytime in our lifetime. But when you're younger, that's the fastest growth. And also the statistics is 70% have anxiety, depression. And
Mhm.
I want to get them while they're young, to know that they have a choice. They don't have enough life experience to know that this is not the end of the world.
Mhm.
It's something that I wish I had when I was younger. So
Mhm.
it talks to you like a friend. It's it's comforting, and
Mhm.
I hope like it comforts, even if it impacts just one person.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm working with schools. I'm also reached out to New York State and veterans, really, and anyone, because we are really blessed. We know the people on your show and you.
Mhm.
We know that we can do breath work. We know there's more to us than this physical form.
Mhm.
But a lot of people are stuck in this 3D reality.
Mhm.
And it's to show them that there is more and there's hope and possibility.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to acknowledge Tony. Tony's been in the audience commenting about her situation and stuff, but she's asking, what do you mean by the 4-minute mind flow? Now, I brought this up again. This is not the 4-minute thing, but this might kind of explain the way it works, I guess, right? To share what's blocking you with Serenity, with the application. And then I guess, do you want to talk about what that is, the 4-minute mind
Well,
flow?
well, we're talking about the 4 minutes, so it's getting confusing. So
Oh,
I was just giving a story about how powerful belief is. So
okay. The 4-minute
or
mile.
the
You're
four
talking about
minute mile
okay. I was
reality.
confused too. Tony, yeah, so that's what happened. Okay. Now it makes sense. I'm like, well, I didn't hear Asia talk about the 4-minute mind flow. So Tony, the 4-minute mile was kind of like believed to be the limit, and once we broke that, and the belief itself was broken, so now people were breaking the 4-minute mile all the time, and now like Asia said, even high school students can do a mile in 4 minutes.
So it's talking about how powerful our beliefs are and how our beliefs hold us back.
Yes, that's what we were talking about. Yeah.
So I was asking, what is your 4 minute mile? As
Right.
in, like, what is your limiting belief,
Right.
and what do
Right.
you want to break through?
Right. Exactly. um I, I can't even believe, like, we're almost through an hour already, and I haven't even told people about what an amazing artist you are. Now, I know you've kind of shifted your focus to your app and everything, but part of my daily routine is kind of seeing your posts on Facebook. You have an amazing ritual, I guess you would call it, or just like kind of mindset that you put yourself in, where you actually wake up every morning early, or as many mornings as you can, and you go to the beach and you experience the sunrise. And I know for me, even what's the word, when you're living vicariously, even living vicariously through Facebook, it feels so amazing. And I wanted to kind of share something real quick here. This is just your Facebook feed from just like kind of you going to the beach in the morning and experiencing these things, and there's always amazing wildlife there, and you just have this amazing view, this amazing vision of the way that you capture the beauty all around you. Oh, I went to the wrong thing here. How do I go back to your gallery here? Here we go. And I just love some of these photos, especially when you have birds. You do video, amazing slow motion videos. You're like an iPhone wizard as far as like capturing beauty goes. And people can also go to your website, which is Asia Lee Fine Art, and there's just some amazing, beautiful work that are photographs, but just evoke amazing painting, like I don't know, environments.
Well, you feel the love from
You
nature.
feel the love. Yeah, that's it. That's totally it. That's definitely it. And
Hello, KB.
yes, and I can learn more about. Thank you, Asia, for your softly spoken lessons. Oh, I love that. I love the way they put that. One of the things I wanted to share, because this is one of my favorite things. Let me see if I can find one of these. I had it all set. Is you do this amazing thing where you're at the beach and you put the phone down, and then you take like a self-portrait almost, but it's just like the freest divine feminine running down the beach, and it's evokes such amazing energy. I don't see one here off the bat. I saw one earlier.
I haven't done one in a
Oh
while.
my God, they're just so amazing. Oh, you know what? I think you have one. Maybe you have one in your profile picture here. I don't want to embarrass you. Such a beautiful woman. Look at that. Uh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to embarrass you. But these, I mean, I think you do these amazing. It's just the energy that you capture. It's such beautiful, beautiful energy, and I think that really kind of describes you as well. You know, from the moment I met you, it wasn't like a person to person thing. It was like an energy to energy thing. And I really love that. And I love that people are finally understanding that they are energy and that they're in control of how they receive energy and how they give energy, and that every interaction with another person is energetic, and you can make it a beautiful interaction or you can make it not so beautiful, and it's like your choice, right? And so simple.
Nikola Tesla and Einstein, Nikola Tesla, said everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. But people had a difficult time understanding that because he was just way ahead of his time.
Mhm.
And then you have the ancient wisdom, which was considered woo woo until recently, because now we have the science to validate. Since it's being measured and quantified, people are becoming more aware and more accepting of what was woo woo and understanding better what
Mm,
the scientists had said.
a
So,
million
really,
percent.
everything is energy, vibration, and frequency.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely. I love that. I love that it's all coming together. I love that quantum physics is like explaining the way that what how could God be everywhere all at once? Well, quantum physics kind of explains it. Superposition. That's it. You know what I mean? Really, really amazing. I feel like Tony is out there, and I feel like Tony can use some words of love and some help. So Tony is kind of, I guess, incapacitated because of her illness, and asking for suggestions of what kind of things can you do.
Okay, so every illness is correlated with some sort of trauma or emotion. So when you're whatever it is, this is what I do is I scan my body and to see where that darkness is, and then I put it in my hand and I visualize it as form. Does it have weight, texture, sound, color, whatever it is? So say it's my stomach. So I take that energy from my stomach, I put it in my hand, and then I turn it after I have it in a solid form, visualized, I turn it into a golden light. I let it go.
Mhm, mhm,
That's one method.
mhm,
Another method is, what is this trying to tell me, teach me? What emotion is, I'll give you a personal example for me.
mhm,
Um, Not this past week, but the week before, I was in the hospital for a couple of days. I
mhm,
woke up in the middle of the night with the room spinning like crazy, this
mhm,
vertigo, and then I got nauseous. My body was hurting, all this pressure in my heart because all of that, and then fear came. And when I did this method, I realized that I still had fear in my system. I had fear of the book launching. I had fear of the GetMindFlow launching. I
mhm,
had fear of rejection. I had fear of being seen. I had fear of failure, of losing face. And it was crazy. Once I acknowledged all that fear,
mhm,
my nausea went away,
mhm,
my headache went away. So even now with GABA Mate and all these other doctors' work, every illness, they're going to have it soon. My guess is within the next 5 years. Louise Hay did this back in the 80s. She has a book called Symptoms, where
mhm,
every emotion is related to a particular illness. And I'll give you an example. ALS, the Lou Gehrig's disease,
Mm-hmm.
doctors would say, oh, the nicest people got Lou Gehrig's. They never get mad. They never raise their voice. Lou Gehrig, he played ball even when he had broken bones and stuff. And he's known for never missing a game. Well, he should have missed a game. He should have acknowledged his pain. He should have acknowledged his emotions,
Mm-hmm.
because by not acknowledging the uncomfortable emotions or whatever it is, or whatever trauma that happened, or you may not know the trauma and you don't need to know it. You just have to feel the emotion. That's where the app will be very helpful for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Ask it. Just say, like, I'm feeling this or that, and it will guide you. So
Mm-hmm.
there's two methods right there, but I'll tell you, really, I'll give you a visual.
Okay.
So this is our DNA, and it's like a loaded gun.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. These three are the triggers. I'll do it with this hand. These three are the triggers, right? Bam.
Mm-hmm.
So we know beliefs work. This is why placebos work, religions work,
Mm-hmm.
spontaneous healing, whatever you believe. This is why the Roger Bannister, once he broke it, everyone was able to do it, right? Belief.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is emotions. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you see people that have been married or in love die days, weeks, months from each other. You know, stress from work.
Mm-hmm.
Stress is the number one illness for people to miss work and stuff.
Yeah.
We know stress can create heart attacks, lots of stuff. So emotions. And this is environment, the foods we eat, the air we breathe, all the toxicity, the EMFs and stuff. So the DNA is not your destiny. Back in the 80s, they believed it was, because when they were decoding the DNA helix, and what they did, they found so much junk DNA. And Dr. Bruce Lipton's work is like, what makes the cells turn to what they do?
Mm-hmm.
And here are the three reasons. Bam.
Mm.
So this is your DNA. Your DNA is not destiny. You have the power to pull the trigger on however you want.
Interesting. Interesting.
So
Yeah.
I hope that helps. And if you have another question.
Yeah, and interesting. I mean, I feel like it's I'm trying to kind of interpret. So Tony says I nearly drowned when I was a kid. I'm trying to get my breath back to normal. Is that what I mean? I also I feel like.
Wait, let me answer Tony.
Okay, go ahead.
Tony.
Yeah.
Go into the app and say that, because your body may still be holding that trauma.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So ask it, is it still holding trauma, and where can it be holding, and how could I release it? And then if it said an EFT, ask for a deeper one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's awesome. Emphysema is what she's saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, not that I don't mean that's great that you have emphysema. I mean, that's great that the app.
So
it seems like she's connecting.
Let me tell you how many illnesses I had. I used to be severely allergic to so many things, even the sun. I used to have severe asthma that when I went out west, I had to go to the hospital 3 times in 2 weeks, and my lungs had to be lidocaine. I've had a lump removed. I've had cysts. I've had a tumor. I had all this stuff when I still carried so much emotional baggage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am so healthy. When COVID happened, I would go to people and help them to get better, because I knew I was going to stay healthy.
Right.
In fact, I went to someone and I was just about to touch him, and the son goes, "No, he has COVID." And the dad goes, and he's in his bed. He could barely move. He goes, "She's using her force," because he was a huge Star Wars fan. So I went from being so sick, so allergic, gastro stuff, you name it,
right,
to where I am now. So healthy,
amazing,
so vibrant.
yeah. And that's an amazing testament to everything that you just said, that all of these kind of conditions come from other conditions and experiences, and it's energy that's just kind of trapped and needs to be worked through. And that's why there's people who do things like Reiki, and they help move the energy around. That's why and even though my girlfriend's a Reiki healer, I mean, I think it starts with the self, right? So I think before you even can get the benefits of that stuff, do it yourself. Do some qigong, you know what I mean? Move the energy around in your own body, and just like so that you know what it feels like. Then you can get more out of Reiki, because now you know what it feels like and what to expect. And even the quiet healer is saying yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. And look at this. Tony says, how awesome. I live in a rest home. I could help people get better once learning this. So I feel like we have a acknowledgement of a ripple that we have created just by showing up, Asia. How amazing is that? That's why we're here, to create ripples and love each other and help each other. You're amazing. I'm so happy that you agreed to be on my show. I know it's probably past your bedtime, especially getting up early to go to the sunrise. Do you have any, like, I can't ask for any more words of wisdom, because all the words that we shared, I felt like were words of wisdom. But do you have any parting thoughts for holding space for me?
Yes, you are already whole. That this is not about really healing. It's about remembering who you are, your divine spark, and returning back to yourself. So I just want to remind you, Tony, like when you were 2, you danced, you didn't mind being seen, and you believed you can create and be. And it's like returning back to that essence of who we are, who we were before the world told us what was possible. To go back to the limitless, the infinite possibilities of who we are.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much, Asia. Thank you so much for bringing your amazing energy to the show. I'm honored to hold space for you. And get the book. Go to Asia's website. Go to GetMindFlow.ai, and you can get the book. You can get the app. Evelyn, thank you for being here. I love when people appreciate what we're putting out here. So thank you guys for showing up and receiving it. Asia, thank you so much. I'm going to put you in the green room and say goodbye to my audience. So don't go anywhere, because I just want to say goodbye to you after I sign off. But thank you for being here. Bye-bye. Oh man, I'm energized. I feel amazing. That deep breath, that clearing the space was perfect, and we made a lot of room for a lot of great wisdom. Tony, you're not actually watching the replay, you're watching live. So thank you for being here and contributing your energy and receiving the energy, the mirror, that reflection that we were talking about the whole time. There it is. It's so awesome. And Tim adds to the equation. My 3-year-old just drew all over the world, all over the walls with his diaper cream. Thank you, Tim, for that contribution. No, it's always good to see you, Tim. Thank you. And I'm glad you're laughing about it. It seems like you're laughing about it. I'm excited. So Thursday, the live stream of consciousness, I just got my guest, Randy Slavin, who's a friend of mine, who is an award-winning filmmaker, drone pilot. But the reason I'm having him on the live stream of consciousness is because I feel like he's one of these people who's just connected. He knows who he is. He lives his life in the flow, and everything just happens for him because he knows who he is. Exactly what Asia was saying. We all are amazing and can do amazing things. So I love sharing the stories. I love you guys being here. Thanks for showing up. I will see you guys next week. Peace.